Likes you better with glasses.
Too bad. I like me better without them.
Hey, pretty fans. Welcome to another episode of the Better with Glasses podcast. I am your host, Vicky Cazalia, and with me is Casey.
Hey.
And today we are here to break down episode 3 of season 2 of The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Yes.
And
Right now. A little hotter than it has been. I guess it's like 100 degrees outside, moist.
it is. Yeah.
But we're gonna survive.
This room's always a little bit hot.
It is.
Yeah, it gets a lot of sunlight in the morning.
What's the episode called?
Lovesick.
Lovesick, also known as unofficially the Mac Miller episode. Because I mean, come on. The best musical moment of this entire series happens in episode 3.
Yeah.
And
I really thought that you were going to wait until the musical moment section to go off.
Fuck that. Go off, King.
Yeah, right. So, Casey's really excited for this episode. Not just because of the Mac Miller thing, but it's an excellent episode.
It's an excellent scene. It's the best episode of the 3 so far. Facts. And that doesn't have to just do with the Mac Miller song. I think it's easy. I think
it's a strong episode.
Yeah. I think that would be the universal choice.
Mm-hmm.
If polled, if the pretty fans were polled, then great musical episode.
Yeah. I think it's the most complete start to finish episode. Like the other ones have very good scenes, like very, very good scenes. You can kind of like pluck out.
But this one is
watch. But this one is
we're on the road.
Yeah.
We're going to see the aunt. We're
introduced to new characters in
get
this
the
one.
funeral scene. We get the guitar. We get the brothers. Everyone's back together too. You love having the band together. Like when Taylor and Steven arrive and it's the crew.
Mm-hmm.
It's like shit, man. This is living.
Yeah.
This is living. Having them back. It felt the most like last season.
Well, the
fun level of it all.
I also think, Jenny always calls like the house like another character, and the beach is almost like another character.
And Mac Miller is another character.
No,
and Juice WRLD is another character.
You and your music.
Listen, you get Mac Miller and Juice WRLD back to back. It's like talking right to me. I've even worn my Mac Miller hat on today's episode for you YouTube watchers out there,
guys. We're gonna carve off some time for Casey here.
Okay, I've already carved it myself. You tell us.
Okay, no. Before we even go into it, I just have to tee the fans up. However, 99% of the fan base feels about the connection between Taylor Swift and The Summer I Turned Pretty. This episode, which has some great Steven moments.
Oh yeah.
Some great Taylor moments.
Oh fuck, the Cheeto scene. Shit.
And Mac Miller.
Oh man, that was a great scene. It was a great episode.
It's the first time he truly understands how we feel, guys.
When they arrive and I hear the song Circles playing, and I like know it a little bit, and I recognize it immediately. I'm like, "Hun, Mac Miller. That's Mac Miller."
Okay.
I almost died. I was like, "Hun, it's Mac Miller," and she's like, "I know." I'm like, "Oh my god!" So now I get
it.
No, I get it. I do get it, but I also get that song forever. I'm allowed to play it because Vicky has a strict, there's only certain Mac Miller songs I can play because she thinks he's a little mumbly, which fair. Some of his newer stuff is a little mumbly, but it's also very deep. It gets to your soul, like Circles gets to your soul, and that's why it was picked. We'll get to it. Tell us about the episode. Dude, let's run through this baby.
Let's go through it the way that we always go through it, guys.
Sure.
So it starts off coming in hot, right? Because where did we leave off at the end of the last episode?
Who knows?
They walk in.
Okay.
Jeremiah is confronted.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And it ends on he is telling Jared that they're selling the house.
Damn.
And she's like, she walks in. She's like, the house is getting sold. He's like, what is she doing here? Cut.
Oh shit.
Cut. So it opens up, like, no bullshit. It opens up right at the same scene. And
forget school, man.
All right, let's talk about the scene.
So Conrad looks stoned.
He does.
He looks like Adam Fisher, and he looks stoned to some degree, or drunk, or something.
He's unwell.
He's unwell. I mean, but it's a fun scene.
It's a great
like
scene.
I like unwell Conrad in this
it's well done. There is one part where there are a couple of key points in that argument. Conrad is trying to tell and explain to Jeremiah that the house is being sold. Jeremiah's like, innocently, it's like, well, we'll just do this or we'll do that and blah, blah, blah. And Conrad's like, look, Dad doesn't have money to buy this house between the medical bills and Brown. So automatically I'm thinking there's some guilt, right? Conrad is just, he's constantly like negative self-talking himself. And I think he probably feels bad about Brown. And he mentions the medical bills. But Jeremiah was like, I know about the medical bills because I was there, implying that he was there more.
I don't think he's implying that at all.
You don't think so?
No, okay. I think he's saying, like,
oh, like we were all affected.
Yeah, by this. You may think that this only affects you, but I am
True.
very well aware of this.
True. And then Jeremiah just is like, well, you have to go back to school. You have to finish your exams. Like, you're gonna flunk out, and that's the fuck school. Like school's not important.
Good scene.
Great scene. This happens in the book, and I'm actually glad that it happened again. But Belly looks at Conrad. It's like, oh, how are you going to become a doctor if you fail out of school?
I was like, Belly, shut up.
Well, that's how you're supposed to feel, because Conrad just looks at her and is like, you don't know what you're talking about. Which it almost would have been better if he actually said, shut the fuck up, as opposed to what he actually says, which is, you don't know what you're talking about, because she clearly does know what she's talking about because they have a history. But Jeremiah, out of line or totally justified when he says that Conrad is selfish?
No, I think he's on a higher plane.
Okay,
Conrad, and then the two
people who just kind of stumbled upon.
Well, I think they're just in a younger mindset where they haven't been to college yet, so they think college is like the almighty. You know, it's how I think there's a certain segment of people who high school, college, job. Conrad has been through college for a little while.
But Conrad cares about school.
He does care about school. He can always go back. It's not like his life is going to be ruined by taking 2 weeks off of school. He's a little wiser. He's
in a highly emotional state, and I think he does realize that his life will probably be ruined, highly affected. All of their lives will be if this house gets sold.
Well, he's been dealing with this house thing for longer than they have, so I think he's got a little bit more perspective on it, and he actually thinks that he can save the house. Well,
that leads to the Belly voiceover. At that point is like Jeremiah like storms off. Belly voiceover is, God, he won't even look at me, because of the funeral thing, which we'll get to because it flashes back later. But then Conrad is standing at the fireplace, which is the last place that they were at the last time those two were at the beach house together months ago. And he's standing at the fireplace. He's not looking at her, but she's right about that. But he starts to tell her the entire situation with the house,
which is not, and I'm like, okay, they're back on solid footing now.
That's how I felt about it. If anything, it made me feel like that she is still a person that he opens up to. He doesn't open up a lot, and as quickly as he opens up, he like puts walls up, but he like tells her the real deal. What did he say? It's actually I think they put that scene there because it's actually Conrad showing that he does care about more people than just himself, because he says that he was in the middle of finals or whatever, and Liam, you remember Liam from last season? Liam texts him and is like,
I know, interesting Liam name drop in there.
Yeah, well, it had to be somebody from Cousins, right? Sure. Like, hey, there's a for sale sign in front of the house. So he was like, I hung up the phone, I drove straight here, I pulled the for sale sign out of the front yard, threw it away, and that's what I've been doing. And Conrad says, Belly, it felt like losing her all over again, and I didn't want that for Jer. Okay, so then after that, you get, I guess it's just like a little filler scene of Belly on the beach, beautiful sunset. She's talking about how nice it is there.
It's for the book people.
It is for the book people. Casey has a theory.
Well, I think they do a lot of book service. So like this scene, the scene where Belly's swimming laps, don't move the plot along at all, just to get book lines into this new story that's being told.
Kind of like Easter eggs, right? Like,
I mean, it's nods to the people who know the books and want to see stuff that's from the books.
Yeah. There is an important quote you're right, from the book that tells you what this episode is ultimately going to be about. She's like, I want to remember everything about this place. She's thinking it might be her last time coming to the beach. She might think that the house is going to get sold. So she says, I want to memorize it all because you never know the last time you'll see a place or a person. Person is obviously, this is the funeral episode. Place is now houses for sale. So, all right. After that, I guess she comes back from the beach and cut to
Jeremiah making the bed, right?
Jeremiah making the bed.
I think they're trying to paint him as someone who would be a poor spouse. Like in the books, they say he can't cook. In this TV show, he can cook.
Yeah.
Frittatas and
he's poaching eggs. Yeah, in the first season.
But he's doesn't want to figure out how to make the bed, and we already saw a Conrad bed making scene, so I think that's a little bit of a nod there.
We have Conrad, whether it's right or wrong, trying to like play older brother in this episode, right? Like, hey, like let me handle this. Like, I got this. Like, so it kind of shows that he's not as, to your point, resourceful or but. Anyway, it's totally there to showcase the
even though
opposites.
I want to out Vicky here. When they played or after, I don't know, but Vicky made sure to note that Belly didn't help Jeremiah make the bed, where she did help Conrad make the bed.
No, Conrad helped her make the bed.
Well, you said she didn't help.
She didn't help.
Do you think that's important?
I don't know.
Okay. Moving on.
I guess I just thought that she would.
Mad fresh linen up in this house too, by the way.
Yeah.
Susanna may not have packed the house with food, but fucking fresh linen galore.
Well, actually, no. Okay, so that's another thing. Jeremiah says, "Yeah, my mom always had had everything done and had everything made."
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't, and that is definitely the wrong moment for her to teach. It's like the fucking let me teach you how to change a tire thing all over again. Like, he's frustrated because he doesn't know, he's not making the bed. He said he would fucking leave if it wasn't so late. He is still coming off of his weirdness with Conrad. And he's like, when my mom was here, everything was perfect. So it would have been a bad time for her to like step in and be like, let me teach you how to do this. Because Conrad taught me last year. Like, not great. So whatever. Anyhow, it's a good scene between the two of them. He acknowledges for the first time, like, instead of throwing their breakup in her face, he comes around and he's like, Belly, thank you so much for coming with me. I couldn't have done this without you. And I don't know what went down between you and Conrad, but it couldn't have been easier for you to come with me. So like, I appreciate you. Which, like we talked about on the last pod, that's a lot of her being able to talk out to someone who feels similarly about how much she's actually affected by Susanna's death and how much also guilt she's carrying around and making her feel comfortable about that. I think is truly what she needs at this point.
It's cathartic.
Very cathartic.
Stephen hasn't wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
From what we saw.
Yeah, Stephen's coping in like a little bit of a way. She hasn't even talked to Conrad. All right. So then you see Belly in her room
with her pile of fucking linen.
Her pile of linen.
That must have been the maids. Last time the maids cleaned the house, they probably folded all the shit.
Yeah. And then she goes and pulls out her swimsuit. And she book service, but like rightly so. I think there's certain things about Belly that are really important to her, and swimming, like she said it last season, like swimming late at night is like one of those like rituals. So like going back to the house, doing something that she's done every year since she was a little kid, in this mindset that this might be the last time she gets to do it, is kind of emotional. So she's out there swimming laps, and Conrad is sitting by the pool. So this is, I
feel like it's almost like a dream.
It is.
It does feel like a little dreamlike.
It does feel a little bit dreamlike. Well, just because you don't expect expect it, but then as soon as you see it, it like reminds you of the scene in season 1.
It's the same exact scene in season 1.
Okay, yeah, it's the same exact scene. And I'll go one step further. Yes, it could just be book service because that happens in the book. Like the direct quotes of, hey, do you still like pretend that you're swimming in the Olympics and all this stuff? The house could catch fire and you wouldn't know. My take on that scene is almost like in season 1, I think he comes out there purposefully to have a different conversation. I've rewatched this thing like 5 times now. I think he comes out there with the intent of having a conversation to resolve some things with her, and instead he can't like bring himself to do it, so he just kind of like is like, so do you still like think about the Olympics or whatever? And there's like this slight beat where they're talking, she dives back under the water, and he like, you can see him thinking through it and like makes the decision to leave because he's like not ready to process that yet.
Okay.
So I guess that's my point in saying, if it feels random, maybe it's supposed to be random. Like maybe he went with intention, but didn't go through with having that conversation. That conversation is going to come. But anyhow, then what happens
I
next?
feel like as soon as they start going on, as soon as Jer and Belly start going on the road, getting on the road, that's when the episode really picks up.
Yeah. Well, you like the next scene, which is they wake up, Conrad's downstairs talking to his mom's financial guy. Jeremiah and Belly come down together.
This was, so the brother scenes keep getting more authentic. The first one is all right with them, arguing.
Yeah.
And then this coming downstairs scene is very authentic. And then there's a better one even further on. But, like I talked to her for 5 seconds. Like it was
well, it's Jeremiah
excellent.
Trying to insert himself and trying to like get the scoop, and Conrad doesn't feel the need to catch him up.
It almost seems improv.
Yeah.
It almost seems improvised.
Yeah.
But then you get Conrad leaves, and then Jeremiah and Belly are like almost like these fucking crazy kids, like out like Huck and Finn or some like going out on a little kid going out on an adventure to try and
save the house,
like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's a good scene for them. Important scene for them. Did you notice that when they're like we're gonna go see Aunt Julia, and they do the thing and their little handshake, it's a jellyfish?
very cool.
Very cool.
When's the first time we get to Taylor and Steven? Okay.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
You're skipping scenes here, bruh. Jeremiah says, Belly, can you please talk to Conrad? She has a flashback to she's sitting on like the kitchen counter.
Oh, that scene.
It's clearly way after Christmas.
In the Christmas scene, Conrad is so hopeful because the drugs are working.
Yes.
And now the drugs are not working, and it's a direct correlation to his attitude.
Exactly.
And
it's, she notices it, she pulls him in, he doesn't want to talk about it, but then ultimately shares.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after he shares, he's like, well, I don't want to worry you with this stuff. And she's like, you can tell me anything.
Which is true. I mean, of all the people, that's like
totally,
the one person you should
totally
he
true.
should be able to talk
but
about.
now he's feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Because she's still she has grief, but she's still trying to live her life, and I think she's trying to use some of this stuff as a distraction.
Yeah.
Prom and just being a normal teenager, I don't blame her.
Best Laurel scene.
Best Laurel scene of the whole. Yeah, they're talking about getting the hotel room.
That must be a cool mom.
That must be a cool mom.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So,
I bet the shimmy wasn't. That was a choice by.
The
actor.
Yeah. Jackie's great. All right. So well, after she has that flashback, she goes to the cupboard. They're looking for food, and she throws the cocoa in the trash.
Oh,
which
man.
Is symbolic. So
maybe
Conrad stands. Oh, put your seatbelts on.
I don't know. They end pretty well. This episode.
No,
I think on front.
They do. We'll get to it. But I mean, that's clear symbolism. All right. So then
she just can't take the memory.
She can't take the memory. Yeah, she's trying to eradicate. Okay, so then
Yep.
you get Steven and Taylor. So Laurel's packing her bags, leaving to go to New York.
Yep.
And Steven has made the decision that he's going to Cousins.
Bye, Mom.
And who's going with him?
T-Dog.
T-Dog.
That's right.
Yeah. So we don't need to debrief that scene.
But it's mostly in the car.
Well, we haven't gotten to the car part yet, but yeah, at that point I think she's like running and
great.
Yeah. It's good back and forth. She clearly wants to go. Like Taylor is definitely like FOMO girl.
Yeah,
Like, she makes a lot of her decisions based on like FOMO. So she's like, "You're not going to Cousins without me. Everyone's there. Like I need to be there for my girl." So
I mean, she knows. We gotta turn this party up to 11.
She drops everything and she goes. So anyhow, we got that. Then you got what you were talking about, which is Jeremiah and Belly. You get two of them driving. You get them driving pre-seeing Aunt Julia and then post seeing Aunt Julia.
Okay.
So this is the pre-Aunt Julia, and it's a great scene. Like they're hashing out how they're gonna approach the situation.
Charm effective.
Yeah, and yeah, the charm effect. Yeah. That's what Jeremiah is going with. And he's talking through it, and he's just kind of like this. So she's holding like a vase of flowers, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll just wing it."
The charm offensive.
The charm offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, "What is he?" There's a dig at Conrad that's kind of funny. He's like, "Oh, yeah, Conrad probably went with the
some shit." I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I can't think of the word, but it's like the antagonizing, like blah 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 bullshit version. And
this is when Jared's at his best. This is when Jared's in his best bag, or Gavin is in his bag. Yeah. Like when he can be
playful,
goofy, lovable. That's when he's the best. So
he's thinking like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna turn the charm up to like 12.
I've been there, man.
And I'm gonna save this thing.
I've been there. I've thought that. I still think that way sometimes, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I've tried and failed, and some people have just been a little too stern for me.
Yeah.
Like Aunt Julie.
Yeah.
Like Aunt Julie was.
Yeah. But the important thing is he and Belly are connecting over their mutual frustration with Conrad pushing them away and trying to handle everything on his own. And
yes.
Belly says, yeah, he's never been good at putting on a front when he's not feeling it. And that flashes back to Prom. Yeah.
Okay.
So she flashes back to Prom. It's when there's three couples, Steven and his girl, Taylor's there, and then Belly and Conrad. You said something about Conrad. You're like, his hair, like he's not quite like,
he's not as put together as he's like. You see him in the Christmas scenes, he looks like $1 million.
Yeah. And
progressively you see him look worse and worse.
Yeah. Right. And I described it as like tired and like he's not happy. He's not smiling.
I mean, let's think about this.
Yeah.
He's spending time, from what it seems. He's going to school at Brown. He's got to be with his mom in Boston because we don't see him with his mom, but he's definitely spending time with his mom. And he's hanging out at the house in Philadelphia and going to prom in Philadelphia. Yeah. So like this dude is driving like a maniac, staying in different places. You don't really have a sense of home when you're in so many different places. So listen, that's just how it is right now with our boy C.
Our boy C. It is nice to see Susanna up on the mantle.
I didn't see that the first time. I was like, where the fuck is her voice coming from?
Oh,
I didn't see. Now I do.
Oh, okay.
And the first time I'm like, where is her voice coming from?
Why is she randomly talking?
Well, I'm like, what I was thinking was they fucked up because how is she FaceTiming and taking a picture at the same time?
Oh, okay.
But
yeah. So she's on the mantle. Then the corsage thing is just like there's a Taylor Swift song called "Death by a Thousand Cuts," and it's like a phrase that I use a lot, right? Like it's not like when people reach a breaking point. It's not always, we were talking about this the other day. It's not always like one thing. Mm-hmm. Like it's not always one big catastrophic thing.
Oh
it's
yeah.
like,
we're talking about it at my job.
Yeah. It's like small stuff that if you take it as the only thing that happens, it's not a big deal.
But when you add 17 things up, it's like these people are difficult, or this is too difficult.
This is too difficult. Yeah. So like him fucking up with the corsage, Belly is great. She doesn't like make a big deal out of it, but he is counting on like probably all 10 fingers and toes, like all the ways that he's letting her down. Yeah. And it doesn't go well. So that continues.
If you look in Jeremiah's room, you can see a ukulele on the dresser. Just a quick.
So it was really important to Casey to have.
I want to play
a song.
I want to play a song, but
he wants to be in his Conrad
bag. But
Conrad era.
One day we'll bust it out for you. Okay, continue.
Anyhow, I'm on prom right now.
Yep.
So you get to prom.
Go off, Queen.
They're sitting at the table awkwardly. Clearly, Conrad's not in a good mood. Steven gets up to go dance with his date, and he says,
"Great, Steven line. Are you gonna ask my sister to dance, Fisher?"
It's great.
Yep.
I thought he was gonna be a jerk right there, but he's not. He asks her if she wants to dance. She plays it off like it doesn't matter. It does matter. He stands up, and you see I don't know why, like every shot from a YA drama always has guy stands up and you only see the hand asking the girl to dance. It's like a common
trope,
cinematic, like shot, like camera, something or the other. So that's good. And then based on the song choice, it's what Smashing Pumpkins
mayonnaise.
It's the perfect song for the scene, but it's not the song that's like the romantic dance where they kiss at the end. It's coming to a head.
Well, it is, and
she's frustrated.
A little precursor to what we see later in the episode. Conrad starts having a panic attack. This is more of the panic attacks that I've experienced and seen. Like, he's feeling claustrophobic, he has to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And it might not be like the super heart pounding panic attack that may be coming, but that's what's happening on the dance floor.
Well, he's like, can we just go somewhere and talk? And she keeps trying to ignore it or like force him to be there and have a good time. And you can see she's getting frustrated, and he doesn't want her to be frustrated. And he's like, if I stay, I think I'm just going to ruin your night. And she's like, you ruining my night is a choice. Like, you don't have to be this way. Anyway, they go outside and he says sorry. Like, he's apologetic the entire time. He clearly doesn't want this to happen, but it's happening.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, like I said, he could have made different choices, and
the choices that need to be made were ahead of schedule. Like, hey, hun, we're going to prom tonight, or even a couple days ahead of time. I'm not feeling great. This thing is really weighing on me with my mom. So maybe we don't stay out late, or maybe we, set an expectation.
Yeah. But Conrad has always been described as this guy who like takes on everything, shares nothing, feels the weight of the world. Like he has to make everything right, or like,
I mean, everything. Yeah, got that.
So I think he is trying his best to be a good boyfriend, and he knows that he's coming up short. But different from the book. So you and I both talked about, we were afraid that it would follow too closely to the book, because the book is, I am very annoyed with Belly in the book. The way that they played it out was much more solid, because she actually says, please don't push me away right now. So it's not that Belly doesn't understand what's going on and she's like pleading with him to not do this, and she is aware of what the do this is, pushing her away. Regardless, he walks away. And I only realized this on the third watch. He had already walked away at that point. Like when it's pouring rain at that point, even though it got way worse when they're like fighting and screaming, she's yelling at him in the rain, him turning to leave and go into the rain, it's already over.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to walk back inside after that, right? Like, he's like, just like, no, fuck this, I'm leaving. And you can come with me. I think that's how he thought it was going to go. And you can come with me. And we can talk.
But that would be embarrassing for Belly.
And she...
I think
and she calls him out on what she thinks is happening. She thinks that it's okay.
Imagine having to walk back into your prom alone.
I know.
Without saying we broke up. Like breaking up, we broke up is like the only excuse that's like not he left me and like, oh, everyone else thinks he's a jerk.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a tough scene. If you look in that scene, it's very unique.
Yeah.
They're under a rain machine, I think. And it's almost like a split screen where Conrad is in one scene and Belly is in under. It looks like it's split. It's like very gray, and the rain is coming down super heavy on Belly.
Not the entire time, but there's like one.
There's a couple of parts where it's like, damn, that's like looks a little bit funky.
Like they spliced the two.
It looks like different takes, different scenes for sure.
Yeah.
Different takes spliced together.
Excellent scene.
Then Conrad leaves, and this is when I got emotional. Is when she walks in, and Steven catches her, and it's like brotherly moment. Like seeing your sister cry is awful.
So Jenny straight up said, she said about the funeral scene. We'll get to that. Like Jenny wanted to make it worse. Like as heart wrenching as it was in the book, she wanted it to play out like visually worse. And in the book, Belly just goes home and she's crying, and Steven knocks on her door the next day because he clearly knows what happens because they both left the dance and Conrad didn't stay over.
Yeah.
But as soon as she turns to go and Steven's like right there and he almost like catches her and he looks at her, he's like, Jesus.
It kills you.
That made it 10 times worse for me.
It kills you. It killed me. It killed me.
Because you can also see it kill, even for a stint in time, the Conrad and Steven, like, not friendship, but he's just like, he fucked it up.
Well, it also goes to show you how much this weight is really weighing on Conrad because of what he's willing to risk.
Yeah. And the more that I watch it, the sadder I get. Like, do you think she's right or wrong? Like, I always said with the book that she like breaks up with herself.
I think she does that here too.
I think here she moves it along.
Well,
right?
I think they're both in their heads a little bit. She's in her head thinking like,
I think for her, she's like, if you're gonna do this right now,
then
it's over.
Yeah.
Like this is a big thing to do. Mm-hmm. So if this is truly happening, I don't know how we come back from this. Is probably what she's thinking. And I don't actually. If he had a do-over, I don't know that he would have done it the same way. If
he had a do-over, they should have hashed their shit out ahead of time, like a little bit, like set some of the expectation.
Yeah. But when she's yelling at him, she tells him not to say anything else.
And she probably would have, if she could do it over again, she probably would have done something.
But when she takes off the necklace and gives it to him, and he's like, no. And she turns and he's like, wait, but it's too late because Steven's there. It's so sad. I don't even care what team you root for. Like if you're Team Belly, like it's a devastating scene. Devastating. So. Oh, Chris Briney, you got what you wanted. You said you wanted to see Conrad being a jerk at prom. Excellent portrayal of jerk at prom. Anyhow, all right.
I mean, jerk, but he's going through.
That's the thing, right? That's why you can still root for his character.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years ago, he would just be a jerk, but now I feel like there's reasons behind some of the bad decisions we make.
For sure. Okay, so then we get Aunt Julia.
Fuck, great scene. That's Jerry in his bag. Like the door opens up and it's funny. He's just like, it's almost like she knocked on his door. Like, Aunt Julia, oh my God.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? And it's like almost like she knocked on his door and like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here.
And he does the whole he's like, I got you flowers from my mom's garden.
Yeah.
Oh, great. It's so good. And she just looks at him, she's like, who are you?
Yeah. She cuts through all the bullshit real quick. She's like she's like a librarian.
Yeah.
All my librarians in high school were tough.
Yeah.
She's like a librarian. She's like, I'm not having any of your charm shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's a small scene for those two, but
Dad, I'm recording. Love you. And Julia just cuts through it.
Yeah. Well, she cuts through it. She says something that we had to replay to make it make sense.
Oh, you have the resources, but I can't. I think they're playing it like Aunt Julia and Sky don't have any money.
That's your theory.
That's my theory. They're like, I know you have the resources, but I can't just sit on a sale, and I had to get off work, and so it makes it feel very like she's working a job where it's more of a job than a career, maybe, or something like that. And
definitely beneath the surface.
And then Sky is doing work to get the house sold, so I feel like it's going to go in that direction.
Yeah.
And
then Jeremiah almost goes off on her, like Conrad style, almost goes off on her and doesn't, because she's like, "What do you want me to do? You want me to just gift you the house?" And he goes, "Well, it kind of."
Well,
like he's kind of like, it's ours.
To
but it's
Aunt
not.
Jeannie's credit,
Julie.
Aunt Julie's credit, I'm not gifting anyone a $4 million house either.
Yeah.
So like, there should be a conversation, a dialogue, like, "Hey, I know that this house means a lot to you, and I don't never spent time," but it's setting up for a very interesting.
But you do see that Conrad does have a handle on it, because she even says, she's like, "Look, I know you have the resources. Your next step is talk to your dad." She's probably like, I've talked to Conrad about this, right? Like,
good point.
If you're gonna go, if he's gonna buy the house, or you guys are making the decision to buy the house, don't talk to me. Talk to your dad, because I got to move forward on this. And Jeremiah just looks so defeated because his charm thing didn't work, and now he's made an attempt and it went south.
Yeah, it may have just been like woke a sleeping dog kind of thing, like.
But that's going to be the thing that brings him and Belly back together, right?
How much are their trusts? Ballpark.
Million
apiece. Okay. I don't want to step on our episode 4 prediction episode.
I mean, Conrad's driving a Range. Jeremiah's
driving a $60,000 Jeep.
Yeah. So we end up getting the shot of Belly and Jeremiah driving afterwards. He's like beating himself up over not being able to help. Belly comforts him. And then she gets a text on her phone. Volleyball. She opens up to Jeremiah about how she fucked up with volleyball because she couldn't at regional stop thinking about Susanna, and she wasn't playing well. But then she took her not playing well to like some sort of OD level where she probably freaked out.
That's like a meltdown on court or something.
And probably to her teammates, to her coaches. There was something bad that happened. And Jeremiah then comforts her, right? So those two are clearly, being brought back together. Whether you guys care about it being romantic or not romantic, like they're the two characters who are there for each other.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
That's what Jared's got going for him.
Yeah, that's absolutely what Jared's got going for him. Because I don't think that Belly's had the time to explain, clearly not to Laurel, who hasn't been around.
Sure.
Like how this death has affected her and kind of how she's spiraled. And Jeremiah kind of looks at her and he's just like, "I understand exactly how you feel."
And who else could say that?
And who else can say that? Other than Conrad, but Conrad doesn't say anything.
Ain't no say feelings.
Yeah. Well, there is one of my favorite parts about that scene, guys, is when he's talking about she's talking about how she has a meltdown.
He's like, I know how angry.
He's like, "Yeah, you get mean when you play volleyball." She's like, "I want to win." He's like, "Oh, I know." So that was cute. It kind of reminded me of the scene that we're going to talk about next, which is Steven and Taylor driving.
Oh my god, what a thing.
It's like a very good like bouncing between. It's not flirting, but it just kind of like digging like
playful
digs at each other because there's history there, but also having like serious conversation and giving advice and talking through your situation and bullshit. So it was good. So Taylor and Steve-O
in the car.
So this is not the Cheetos part.
No, this is the part where she's like, "Look."
Yeah. Just stop looking at my phone. Eyes on the road.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I am looking at the road. I saw you looking at my phone. Don't look at my phone."
They have the fucking most hilarious chemistry, and they're so good together.
They're so good.
I wonder if everything was written, or if they just like let them cook. Like, go in there. These are the 4 bullet points you need to get to. Just kind of
go.
Just go. Yeah.
But her reaction to like, you can read the text with Milo.
They do good texting in the show. Like, I feel like a lot of shows sometimes don't get the texting right, and how much people are actually texting these days and like fucking around on their phones, and they do it right.
Yeah.
They do it a lot, and Taylor's fucking quick with it, and like it seems very true to life.
Yeah, like he says, like, when are you gonna be back? And she's like, I'm gonna be back when I'm back. He's like, but I need you too. I gotta come up with some smart shit to say to these record label. And she does this, like, she's so good. She just does this, like, and Steven notices, right?
Yeah.
He's like, is everything okay over there?
But then she puts Steven into his place a little bit.
Well, yeah, because he falls into his Steven, like,
not everyone judges people's
based
worth
on the
based on their
Ivy
Ivy they go to, which is great.
Because he starts like he's just like, oh, I bet he doesn't even know how to spell, blah blah blah.
I mean, yeah, that's a thing that a lot of people do, and to have it called out is great.
I think so.
Yeah.
But Steven does address because last summer,
because we kissed for like 2 seconds,
which is funny for her to say. She's putting up a front because she told Belly like she's never gonna get over Steven. Like,
well, I think he knows that.
Yeah. He knows that. So, those two.
Yep.
Those two are great. I've seen so many things where people are like, I think I'm on the Staler because everything else is so tumultuous, right? On Team Bonrad and Team Jellyfish. Team Jelly. Casey hates Team Jellyfish. Team Jelly.
Yeah. Cut to what?
Them arriving back at the house. So Jeremiah and Belly get out of the car with grocery bags. Conrad's coming back from surfing. You like this scene.
Oh, good scene. Like, how's the break? A little choppy. They're like good brotherly stuff. Yeah, like seems off the cuff. Perfect. And then Jeremiah actually sticks up for himself.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I want to be on the call when you talk to Dad.
Yeah, which is straight. It's Belly's advice. She's like, look, just insert yourself. You guys have to be a united front against your dad. Like, that's the only way this is gonna work.
It worked.
And Conrad obliges.
Yep, I think they have surfing is definitely one of the ties that bond them. So that's good.
Yeah. I'll just say it because I like this line. They come out of the car and it's the three of them standing there. And Conrad says something about groceries or something. He's like, oh, did you go to the store? And she goes, well, we were going to leave, but then we decided to not listen to you.
That was funny.
Which is funny. And you can kind of see her do like her belly, like head thing. She's like, but we decided not to listen to you. And
she's got a couple of like trademark ticks that she does.
Yeah. And Conrad like breaks a little bit. He's just kind of like, a slight smile. And then she does the whole like, all right, I'm going to take these inside, like, because she wants to leave them together.
Okay.
So, all right. Then Taylor's at she's coming out of the convenience store.
Okay. So Steven's in his feelings about
he's so sad.
He was broken down about what Taylor had said to him.
Like, he's thinking about it. He's ruminating on it, clearly.
Yeah. And now he's kind of working it through with Taylor.
And now she knows that she hurt his feelings, so she's trying to be nice. She's like, I'll drive. Yeah. I'll drive the last part.
Yep. And she's the best thing about Taylor is she's always doing something else. She's really acting. She's
Rain Spencer.
Rain Spencer. She's changing the radio. She's fucking with her phone. She's always doing these actions and multitasking, and it's so true to life. She's eating Cheetos. Mm-hmm. It looks like effortless. And so the Cheeto scene is great. She's eating, she's acting, she's funny. Steven's there. They're the best scene partners in the show.
It's like sometimes when people have to learn how to take photos, like prune. You always tell me, no, not the prune thing, but you always tell me like relax your hand or like hold something.
Holding something is good.
Or like
when you're in a sales call, any salesman out there, if you don't know what to do with your hands, hold your finger.
Hold your finger.
Yep.
It gives you something else to focus on.
Yep.
Somebody once told me, I think it may have been Darren Barnett, that I was
into my sales podcast just kidding.
Yeah. It may have been Darren Barnett or something like that, where he was talking about like his first red carpet. He didn't know what to do, but then he learned that you can always look like a cool guy if your hands are in your pockets. Anyhow, yeah. Well, whether that's a choice for the character or she just like needs something to do, she's great. Like the Cheetos thing is great. Like when she's like
she puts it on his face.
Yeah, it's funny. It's cute, but really that scene is also
she's showing instead of telling.
Yeah,
in so many scenes.
Yeah, it's also Steven. He's crying in that scene. Like great little emotional moment for Steven.
Steven's unstoppable, man.
Well,
Legit.
but what I love most about
Shock
that,
Kaufman.
yeah, what I love most about that is it shows that people grieve in different ways.
Yeah, that was the poll. That was part of the scene.
That's the point. Yeah.
And
like he's like, people don't really think that I'm an asshole because I'm not as emotional as
that's not
Belly,
the reason.
right?
That's not the reason everyone thinks you're an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Probably, but that's not why.
Yeah. And what did she say? Oh, he's like, why? While we're on this, open
Honesty train.
they don't know we're coming. That's fucking great.
He's like, just go. Okay, well, rule number 1 of party crashing
It's like gate crashing, which I've never heard that referred to as gate crashing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, gate crashing rule number 1 is you don't show up empty-handed. So look around for something because we got to pick something up.
Also great with her hands, and she's
like moving the seat back, and she's like making fun of his car.
I could watch that fucking scene 1,000 times.
They're so good.
They're so good together.
They're great.
But our best scene's still to come.
So we're definitely Staylor shippers.
Fuck. Endgame, cuz.
All right.
Vicky said that she thinks Cam Cameron might make a run at Taylor. Play they don't match, but all right.
They don't match, but I don't know.
All right.
Just a theory.
Just a theory. If you're right, I'm gonna
throw something at
throw
me.
my banjo.
He's gonna get on his Steven soapbox.
Yeah,
and riot. He's gonna start writing Jenny Han.
Yeah, I don't I'm not as into the Conrad Jeremiah thing as like the rest of the TSITP nation. Like,
take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. I mean, I want what's best for the characters. But if something happens to Taylor or Steven, I'd be bummed out.
Well,
if
at this current point in time,
not necessarily them ending up together, but if something were to happen to one of the characters, I'd be really sad.
At this current point in time,
yeah,
they are by far the most emotionally well-adjusted set of romantic characters.
Yeah.
Right? Because
even though she's technically in a relationship with someone else, but
a common trope of the show. But there's
Milo's not forever.
Oh yeah. Steven knows it too. There's clearly chemistry.
Yeah.
There's cute moments that
they have a little history, and we know from the trailer there's some future.
Yes. And they're also vulnerable with each other.
Yeah.
And then quickly address it. Taylor's best quality is that she doesn't let him get away with it. He's sitting there sadly eating Cheetos. She takes the bag from him and she's like, look, can you please just tell me what's got you in your feelings so we can address it and move forward? Which is
good take there, Pizzalia.
Why can't Belly fucking say that to Conrad, and Conrad can start crying and be vulnerable?
Taylor's like the alpha.
I know, yeah. Or even with Jeremiah, right? Anyhow.
All right.
They're great. They're a great couple. Okay. Then we have Conrad and Jeremiah sitting at the dining room table.
Oh, good scene.
Phone in between them.
Conference call.
Yeah.
I'm actually on team Adam Fisher in this scene.
That they shouldn't use their trust.
I mean, it's just bro, I have a little bit of experience in this. At that age, it's hard. You don't have a good respect for money yet. And growing up rich, you really don't have a good respect for money. So you don't want to be 35 and not have
money
when you had it potentially. So I mean, for real, any parents out there, if your kids were trying to liquidate their trusts, you fucking saved up this for your whole life, and now you want to blow it in the first month of having it.
Yeah,
it's tough. So
I agree that he's not just gonna wave a magic wand as a father and say yeah, go
$1 million for you.
Yeah, but I think he's doing his Adam Fisher thing, which is no, I already said no. Now let me get back to work, right? It's
nah.
He's not addressing it. He's not addressing how emotional the boys are about the house. He's not addressing the emotions around the subject in general.
Would it be better if he was okay, guys, what we'll do is we'll take a little bit of our trusts and we'll make new memories at a new beach house.
No, but I think he could be like, look, guys, I know that the house means a lot to you.
Okay.
Right? Like, it's Friday. I'm at work right now. Let me finish up here. I'll drive
Aunt
down.
Julia is having an open house tomorrow.
I'll drive down tonight and we'll see what we can do. We'll talk about it. But just know that it's her house, it's her decision, and
I don't know if I'm going to let you have the money yet. I guess he could be a little more understanding. Like, hey, I'm going to come see you guys tomorrow. We'll try and figure this out. Let's do this in person. Maybe we can work Julia down on the price.
Yeah, let's do this in person.
So we don't have to blow our whole trust.
Because Adam's just like, fuck, like, Jerry, you're there too now. And Jeremiah quickly pivots to Conrad's side when he sees that his dad's like even unwilling to have the conversation. Conrad says it. He's like, and that's it? Like, that's it? You've made up your mind?
It was such a dad thing to be like, no, you never cared about this house because you never cared about mom. And it's so, I think, well, I'm not sure, but parents parents are so used to having kids say the meanest shit. Their kids say the meanest shit to them, where it doesn't even, it just bounces off them.
Yeah. Especially Conrad. Like, he digs into his father a lot.
Yeah. And he's like, Conrad, that's not true. And like, doesn't even, if you said that to me, or like someone said that to me, I'd be like, oh my God, broken. But as a parent, the thing you say to your parents, you're just so like calloused by that time. He's just like, Conrad, you don't mean that. I'm not like standing for Adam Fisher here or anything, but
fuck Adam Fisher.
Gotcha. I like John Conklin. That's my guy. We want to save the house.
Save the house.
John Conklin's great, right? Can we get behind that dad?
Yeah.
He's a rad dad.
He is a rad dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
Stephen and Taylor walk in. No.
Oh
fuck! What am I missing?
Funeral flashback.
Oh Christ Almighty! Good scene though. Good scene.
Yeah.
Oh, let me start again. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me.
Okay.
I have a story. I remember that song specifically. It was 1999, and I was at a lake house with my brother and my dad, and riding around that weekend or that week, however long we were there. That song was on the radio every day, multiple times a day, and I was 11. And it's like one of the first times I remember, vividly remember that weekend being
great, like
a human. I remember being a human, like, you're a kid, and then like I wasn't an adult yet, but I was feeling more like a real person that weekend. I was treated. They stopped treating me so much like a child and more like a regular kid.
Well, there you go.
But that song was on the radio that weekend.
So the funeral. I was expecting a lot of tears and solemnness. I thought they would do like a eulogy. They did do a eulogy by someone that doesn't even know her. Somebody that doesn't even know her. You tell her the story about the bingo? Yeah. Oh, well, okay. So obviously on some of y'all's bingo cards, it says eulogy. And that scene happened. And I was like, boom, eulogy. I got close to, I don't know what I had, but I was like, check mark. Yeah. And because I saw that it was somebody who didn't know Susanna. Or like that's not a eulogy. That's just the priest, like, talking. That's just like, that's not a eulogy. And I'm like, fuck, I already X'd it out. And then the belly voiceover. And then she's like, somebody giving a eulogy that, I'm like, thanks for verifying me, Belly. Yeah. So anyhow, in a lot of funeral episodes of TV and movies, they have somebody up there giving a eulogy. And if I had to watch Laurel or fucking one of the boys give a eulogy, like, I would have been in tears. And it swerved from that in a way that was like almost sad, or like no one's like Belly said, what'd she say? Like, she expected the funeral to be exactly like that, and then she says, except for one moment. It's Conrad singing. Oh, where? Yeah, we already did that. Baby. Make sure we don't get. How do you think he did it? Who? Conrad? Chris. I probably did as good as I would have done. Yeah, he did great. He's not a singer. I'm not a singer. That's the point. It's the point. No, yeah, that's the point. Sure. Like, he's doing something nice for his mom. Mama. And then she's like, I'm gonna stick by his side the entire day. Cut to entering the house, not by his side. And she's looking for him.
She's looking for him, but she definitely failed in her mission to stick by his side.
She's still trying.
She's still trying.
So you see,
is this the first time we get to see the Fisher house?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Nice house, nice catering.
Nice crib, nice catering. Watermelon, what?
Yeah. Belly's like, Jeremiah, if you want to
get some
take
watermelon
off, like,
later.
we have watermelon sitting in
Cut
our
that
kitchen
shit.
table.
A little sea salt on it. Forget about it. All right.
A little lime.
Oh yeah. Okay. So they're taking the food off the thing.
She told Jeremiah that he can go upstairs. She'll make excuses for him. She's putting together like plates of food to bring up to him. Steven comes and takes the food up to Jeremiah. Laurel's talking about Belly's like such a mom fucking thing. Like, why did you wear this dress? I laid a different one out for you. Like, Laurel just needs to dig in that. Like, Laurel is probably very sad and she takes it out on Belly.
Flashbacks of your mom or something.
No, it's just like very mom thing. It's like a weird mom thing.
I was talking about how good of a dad impression that Adam gave, so good parenting roles and writing and acting.
Yeah, and then John Conklin, Rad Dad, comes over and is like, he's the one who breaks the news. Oh, I think I saw him in the rec room.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that rec room was all loaded with sailing and stuff and oars and look at it again. There's like sailing shit everywhere.
Yeah. So then
Belly's got a plate of food.
Bingo card item comes up.
Oh,
Aubrey sighting.
Oh, I got that on mine.
Bro.
Aubrey's cute.
She's supposed to be.
You don't want to hear that, but
no. She's supposed to be. Sophie, Sophie is not one of Conrad's ex-girlfriends, but she like describes her and she's like, I'm prettier than her. When Belly sees Aubrey, she describes her as South Asian, right? So that stayed true. And she described her as way more pretty.
A bad mama jamma?
She says she's way prettier than I had in my mind.
Well, Conrad can,
because this is Conrad's first love. Like, this is a girl that Conrad lost his virginity to, and so
Conrad's a strapping fellow.
Yeah. So when Belly is like, but when Belly is still in her dream state about Conrad, like, she heard about this girl and she's like, I wonder what she looks like. And to walk in, see her, she's very pretty. Conrad's like got his head in her lap. She's clearly comforting him. There's nothing like romantic necessarily.
I mean, I think Aubrey gets the worst of it because she gets left like a bad habit for him. She must feel like, okay, well,
she's
in the
she's just like, is that food for us?
Oh shit, man. But like,
it's almost like you remember when Jeremiah was like, you're a we now? Like, Belly hearing that, she's like, us, fuck you. And she
probably doesn't know who the hell she is. Aubrey probably doesn't know who the hell she is.
Yeah. Aubrey probably knows who she is.
Maybe. If these should be stalking.
Yeah.
All right.
As girls do. Anyhow.
So Conrad leaves her.
Yeah.
So she's left with the plate of food and nothing else. So in the ex-girlfriend rankings, as Belly refers to it, like, Belly kind of has the higher ex-girlfriend ranking because Conrad left like he was doing something wrong.
Oh, for sure.
So
the last thing that Conrad ever wants, and that's the whole reason he broke up with her in the first place,
is to hurt her.
But
now that she's making a scene,
so he's running after her.
Yeah.
At that point, it's not making a scene yet because she's still upstairs.
And he does grab her arm.
So she's going down the stairs. He grabs her arm.
Mm-hmm.
Where she starts making a scene is when she pushes his arm away and says, "Get off me."
Oh, fuck.
And then explosions.
Can we do this outside?
Exactly. Right? Just like the prom scene. If you could have a do-over, there's so many different ways to do it, but it was...
how about
if Jenny wanted it to be fucking...
I mean, the daggers from Laurel is all you need to know. That's all you need to know. It's like, I'm so disappointed in you.
How you guys are better than this. What?
Yes, that's oh man.
Ugh.
That's the.
But, okay, so let's go through. Can we break down the dialogue of the scene that?
Do you want to act it out?
I don't know it that well, but.
Oh no, Billy, wait. That was Aubrey.
Sorry to ruin your little moment.
She was helping me.
So you accept her help, but not mine? Nice to know where I fall in the ex-girlfriend's rankings.
I should have known you'd be like this.
What do you mean?
I should have never started something with you.
You don't mean that. I don't believe you.
It was a huge mistake.
I hate you.
Good.
I don't ever want to see you again.
End scene. That was good.
Very sad scene. Very sad scene.
Wow.
I mean, I was in the book. It's mostly her saying shit to him. They made it worse in this because he claps back, right? Like the
yeah, the good is pretty tough.
The good is pretty tough.
Good. He looks
hurt, but
yeah.
But okay, but what is he really saying?
Oh, do you think Conrad is inebriated?
Huh?
At the funeral?
I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe he's feeling a little loose with his words.
I mean, he's definitely. I don't think he even has to be inebriated. It's his mom's funeral.
It's still tough for Belly to see that.
1000%. And you even said, you're like, nothing Belly said is untrue. Like, I get where she's coming from. She's emotional, but like, wrong time and place. Guys.
Yeah, wrong time, wrong place for sure.
And I think Aubrey, I don't think Conrad is getting back together with Aubrey either. I think Aubrey was just right time, right place.
Yeah.
Like maybe they bumped into each other when he was getting into his car. And she's like, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. Listen,
and he's like, do you need a ride to the
relationships are also friendships.
Yeah.
Relationships are friendships. And if it ends amicably, there's still a friendship in there.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, I think it is meaningful if your ex-girlfriend comes to your mom's funeral.
Sure.
Right? Like a first love, like even if it's over, like. So he was probably like, man, Aubrey, thank you for showing up for my mom.
What's next?
Devastating. And then Belly falls. Do you want to talk about Belly falls? Oh, fuck,
Belly falling again. Can you guys sympathize with me? She falls a lot.
She falls. Yeah, it's always
in the first episode.
Pivotal moments. She falls.
She fell in the funeral.
Bonfire, right? Is what you mean? The first episode ever.
Bonfire. She fell down the stairs and tripped Susanna. She fell
on the cake stand.
Stand. She fell in the first episode when Steven tried stage diving. She fell at the funeral. There's probably another fall in there somewhere too. I can't even.
Yeah. It's not all her being clumsy, right? But it's like she falls a lot. Okay. So, then after the cut from the funeral, Taylor and Steven show up at the house.
Great scene. Getting back together. Like, oh shit, we shouldn't have came.
Yeah. But
want to do another scene?
What? Huh?
Want to act out another scene?
No. Surprise.
Oh
shit, we should have told them that.
No. They're selling the house. They're selling the what?
Well, you say every time we watch it, you're like, I'm happy Conrad said something there. Why was that important to you?
Because they could have let it sit there and they really would have felt bad about coming.
Oh, okay.
But they're like, no.
Yeah.
They gave them the relief. Like, no, it's not you guys. Something big just happened.
Yeah. And there was a very nice, like, awe moment. Like when Taylor just like pulls
Cinderbelly.
Yeah, Cinderbelly.
Yeah.
And gives her a hug. And then Steven, I didn't notice this until one of the rewatches, but remember, Steven has not seen Belly since the fight at his grad party.
Cha.
So this is the first time they're actually interacting, and Steven, so sweet. He's like, I got you blueberry.
Little parting makeup gift.
Which is nice. Yeah, because when she's with Jer at Rosie's, like he's like, oh, you're gonna get blueberry. So
okay. Add
that to your snacks of things that you can add to your watch. Have some blueberry pie. And then needle drop.
Oh shit, yeah. As they're like hugging, then you get Mac Miller in the background and it circles. And it's like,
full body
ding,
chills.
ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, oh shit, yo. I sat up on my seat. I'm like,
so should we even break down the last scene between the brothers, or do you want to go into musical moment?
well, no, that is the best musical moment. So, but the brothers have their best scene. The brothers have their best scene out on the dock. Well, this is what it looks like right before you fall, and it's good like undertone music, and you get to see the brothers having their best scene in a long time, maybe ever. I don't know.
Well, the song itself is about being lost.
Yeah, and so they don't know what to do. They want to save this house. They don't have an idea, and then Jeremiah's certainly best scene of the season, where he's like, I feel like it's the last thing that's holding us together, and it's slipping away. Great job by Dick Gavin there. You know, he gets a lot of shit for his acting sometimes, but that was a pretty good scene.
But also when he says, they're both, again, the bravado, right, of being the brother who saves the day is kind of gone. Like Jeremiah tells Conrad, like, I knew it was a long shot with,
I thought I could get Dad,
but I really thought that I could get Dad. So like he's hurt by that. And then Conrad also admits to, hey, sorry for this morning.
Well, Jeremiah's finally getting to the age where his dad is not exactly who he wants him to be, or isn't.
Well, yes, that. But then Conrad apologized because earlier that morning he's just like, yeah, why don't you guys just go back to bed?
Well, he was,
like, I mean, them like little kids.
But he was like, he was like, I was afraid you guys would see me fuck it all up. Get that.
Yeah.
You know, totally get that. But then they come to the agreement, like, hey, that's a good place to start. Like, you see them coming together, and now they're going to be a really united front.
Well, it's funny
Same
because
intention.
you can see it shift in their relationship where Jeremiah's like, okay, fine. Like, I'll listen to you. Do you have a plan? And Conrad's just like, no. Like, no, I don't have a plan. And he kind of smiles. He's like, but we can come up with one.
Yeah.
And it ends on the let's fuck shit up.
All right. And then they go back inside. Big scene here. Great scene. Belly and Conrad have a little moment.
Oh, I love the Belly and Conrad.
This what DVD we're gonna watch.
Well, she
gangs back together. Taylor looking great. Bell, everyone looking like $1,000,000.
And they're enjoying a night together.
Yep.
They ordered pizza. It's like it's cute despite the circumstances. And
then they put the movie in.
Yeah.
Conrad sits down. And then he gets a text message. And then he flips his phone around. I have theories that you're going to say for episode 4 what happens here.
Episode 4 preview.
He starts having a panic attack.
Yeah.
And Steven follows him out. And then that's where we end at.
Yeah. You knew immediately. Like I was just kind of like, I was still just in my like analytical headspace. I was like, oh, what did he see on his phone? Steven's the only one who notices. And I was like, I thought it was like, oh, he's gonna go take a phone call, but then I remembered that he's like wearing the same shirt as where he's like, I thought he was crying on the beach when they showed that shot in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was crying on the beach, so I thought it was like, yeah, it was a bad text or whatever, but I thought he was gonna go take a phone call. Like,
they need to get Steven and Conrad alone too, so it's a good.
Well, we'll talk about the preview, but I'm excited for that. Like when Steven shows up on the beach, he's clearly having a panic attack.
Yep.
So whatever it was, like, sent him into.
Best musical moment we know of. What was your favorite scene?
Wait, are there no other contenders for musical moment?
I mean, are there? I mean, I would say Conrad playing the guitar is pretty good too. But
yeah, that was good too. That's good. All right, fine. Mac Miller wins.
Mac Miller wins.
What else? Who won the episode?
Good question. Who won the episode? So we had Conrad 1, Jer 2. We're excluding Belly. Can we give it to Brotherly Love? Is that possible?
The brothers. Both of them win.
I mean, it's great how it kind of. Steven also, he had a good. He's there to save Conrad at the end.
You picked Jeremiah for the second episode, but I think I would nominate Jeremiah for this episode.
Okay.
he and Belly are coming together. He's kind of like let the grudge go. You start to see like more glimpses of himself. But he's also opening up about his emotions to Conrad, but standing up for himself at the same time.
Okay.
Right? Like full circle.
I'll buy that.
So I like Jeremiah in this episode.
Commanding lead still on the ratings here.
What's it at?
8.4.
Okay.
The other ones have taken big drops to 7.6 and 7.9. But now Lovesick is in a commanding lead on IMDb from its ratings. 8.4. I think that's more obvious. It's a really great scene. I'm going to add to it right now. I'm going to give it a 10 rating. Woohoo. Let's see who his baby's directed by. Isabel Sandoval directed it. I don't know if she's ever directed an episode of Summer I Turned Pretty before. But she definitely needs some love. If not one episode.
So it's a big episode.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
Right? A lot of stuff going on. So they introduce 2 new characters who are both heavy-hitting actors.
Yep.
They have, I can't even think of how many, like, just Jeremiah and Conrad scenes there are in the first season. We got 3 of them.
Yeah.
To tell that story arc.
Everyone gets their funeral scene. Everyone gets their
prom.
Mac Miller.
Conrad singing?
Oh, Juice WRLD is in the credits.
Yeah.
Conrad singing.
Conrad panic attack at the end.
Fuck, a lot going on.
It's a big episode. And like we said, it's the first real episode that takes place at the house in Cousins and the core 5.
Yes, core 5.
Core 5 is back together.
Stephen and Taylor's best episode yet, too.
It's a lot of people's best episodes.
All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out. We're going to get right into the season 2, episode 4 preview.
But in case you guys aren't hopping straight into that and you got other shit to do in between, all good. Thank you for listening.
Yes, thanks for listening. For sure.
And see you next time.